can make a very big difference. And you can see parts of the training in this movie.
We teach the person we walk the eighth path when their eyes are focused on a sensory focal point, located in the exact center of the eighth track, a computer or TV screen projection that contain of the Raviv software.
Okay, of course, what that we'll show you this evening is not the whole treatment. It's only part of it, and to do the things, not on the right way, it won't be efficient and it could make even damage if you're not doing it correctly. So please be serious about it, and know that if you want actually to treat somebody, you have to learn it all the way. So the first step is the basic step of the crossing movement, crossing coordination. Maybe you heard about it because it's very basic. We know that the left side of the brain moves the right part of the body, and we can actually check if the person we work with have the crossing movement. It's like 1 minute check to see if this stage of development is established. And if not, we correct it. It's 2 minutes practice for 2 weeks, and then you see a kid or a person that actually didn't have this stage correct, will learn it and be able to do the crossing movement and work better with both hemispheres. It's very fast, and not everybody needs it, but if a person needs it, it needs to be correct. Move to the next stage. The eighth path walk. The eighth path walk that actually we spoke about earlier is a basic training, and we can call it surfing on the land, because whatever helped me in surfing was after I became, let's say, I had to get to a very high level in surfing to be able to correct my motor and sensor motor skills, my anchor point, my vestibular system got better, and but I had to get to a very high level in surfing. So we had to find an exercise that combine all the sensor motor skills together, that everybody can learn it. We can actually learn a lot about the person that is doing it in the first steps, because we can see all the coordination problems, the sensory motor problems, the vestibular problems, but we are in the same exercise could correct it and get it to a very high level of combining the important parts of the brain that need to work together when we learn. It's very important that the areas of the brain that are the visual parts, the phonological parts, the movement parts will work in coordination and synchronization for the person to be able to learn, to be a good learner actually. So the 8 path walk greatly improves the vestibular system, and the sensory motor coordination. And also it works on focal, on concentration, and we'll talk about it. First of all, see it, and then we talk about it some more. So as you can see, the person is looking in the middle of the 8. You can see both eyes looking the right side, the left side. In the same pass, the eyes are working on a full circling from left to right. Um, the dominant side changes all the time, and the eyes are doing an important work here, and it's combined with the movement. So this is how the brain learns to cooperate between the movement and the sensory parts of it. You can see the next movie, and then I will talk about attention skills and regulation path, regulations. We'll see the movie and then we'll speak about it. Sorry.
While walking the 8 path, the person is focused and concentrated. The practitioner should identify the dominant rhythm pace of the person while walking and focusing on the sensory focal point. Only when the person rhythm is identified, the practitioner will train him to walk the opposite. The person while walking slowly will train to walk faster. The fast walker will train to walk slowly. In addition, the person will learn breathing exercise for stimulating the brain activity, for relaxing brain activity.
Okay, so the 8 path actually improves um, the coordination. We even work with sportsmen, um, professional sportsmen in basketball, in football, and they actually train themselves to work, even though their coordination is very established and very good. Uh, they take it to a higher level, and because of the balance between the two hemispheres, um, they feel it also in a professional sports. And of course, with kids that have learning difficulties or other problems like dyspraxia, when they have bad coordination, let's say, I don't like the word bad, but their coordination is not based yet. Uh, the 8 pass will greatly improve it, and step by step we take them to higher levels. We start working with catching a ball, then if they get better, 2 balls, and on and on and on until they improve themselves.
The 8 path walk greatly improves the sensory motor coordination. We combine ball games to reach an even higher level of coordination and synchronization.
Okay, so the next step after improving the coordination between the parts of the brain that need the improvement, we go to anchor orientation point. Um, let's see the movie and then talk about it.
The basis for the treatment of dyslexia and dyspraxia is organization of the vestibular system, balance, posture, and orientation, Sensory motor integration.
So I'll talk about it for a minute. As I was explaining about my problem with dyslexia, I had a visual dyslexia, and I used to see the letters upside down. I used to change the words. I had disorientation all the time, and the reason is that our brain used to perceive things in three-dimensional perception, and some kids have a normal intelligence, but and their visual is okay, but the perception is wrong for the reading of the two-dimensional perception, actually the letters, the numbers, and they cannot perceive it correctly. So what they are doing when they're supposed to read in two-dimensional perception, they're actually using uh, the three-dimensional perception because this is what they used to. And if you can hold, if you have yourself a pen in your hand now, or if you're holding something that is three-dimensional, your watch or anything, you can see for you to perceive it, if you change the direction, can actually help you to perceive. Uh, this is how the world is. It's three-dimensional objects um, in the environment. But the page with the letter inside is a different kind of story. It's a different perception. The person that reads or the teacher sometimes maybe he doesn't understand why the letters are jumping to one person, why he cannot perceive them correctly. And you can see intelligent kids and smart kids. Sometimes when I teach now kids or even grown-ups that all their lives are not able to read correctly and they don't understand how could it be the kid is so intelligent. So it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with perception. And until we change the perception, can continue to do it. And I actually work now with an old lady, I would say, like 70 years old, that I teach her how to read from the beginning because when they start teaching her at school and she didn't perceive it, um, at her age, people would give up. They say, okay, go to work or something, but you cannot perceive what everybody can do. And you can see when you do it correctly, she can perceive if she can do it at 70. So this is, I would say, a very long time to wait. Yeah, I did it when I was 19. I see kids that come to me after 3 or 4 years in school, and they come and they already see themselves like I'm a bad student, I cannot learn, maybe I'm stupid. What is this? I don't want to read. They don't want to read in front of people. And if they know there is a possibility to make a change and actually to learn how to perceive the letters, but the thing is to read again and again would not change the perception. So what you saw in the the clock that we work with the numbers and we start in the middle of the body and move the hands to up to 12 and down to 6 and the right to the 3 and the left to the 9. First of all, some dyslexic people don't have this kind of ability to see the difference between the left and the right because they don't have an anchor point. That's why they're mixed up with left and right and with the directions and everything. And even when they learn the directions, they cannot find the anchor point of the page, where they are in the page, where the beginning and where is the end of the letter of the words. So they move from words to letters, they change the directions, they're trying to perceive with the wrong perception. So It's not only the clock. The clock is one way to have an ability to perceive directions, but we actually take the letters themselves and we work in a strategy that is similar to the clock, but with the letters. We do it a big movement with both hands, with anchor point of the body and the letters. We don't have a video of this here in this. We don't have the video now, but you can imagine them like moving with the letters, but standing on two legs, crossing from left to right, doing the letters with their hands and their eyes, and after the body go through it again and again and again, they perceive the letters right because they learn it from the body. We cannot change visual perception with visual practice. So we go to the body movement with the visual, and you don't see it in any other places because we actually worked with it and we saw it happening, the change, the difference that the kids and the people make from the two-dimensional perception to the three-dimensional perception while practicing the clock, but it's not enough the clock. They work with the letters and the directions at the same time. So we'll go now to the next step. So the computer software. Let's see the movie first. Okay, you can see people practicing the eighth path. You could have seen before. Okay, I'll speak about it. Anyway, we want the people to be able to learn while moving, when they are focusing, and we see a very big difference when a person is moving and is focusing, and the brain works with full coordination, and he reads at the same time, he practices memory. We learn to exams in movement. You can see the smile on their faces when they can move from the table and walk. And all the memory, the retrieved from memory, the reading, everything become easier when you are in movement. So if we're talking about memory, the retrieval from memory is very important. We can see the learning, the kids that have learning problems. I don't like the word difficulties, but the learning problems which they have, how they, let's say it's hard for them to retrieve from the memory things that they actually know and then they learned. We know it in exams, but it's not only in the exams. Like when they sit down, sometimes their concentration goes down and they're very anxious and very nervous, and the retrieval of the memory is very bad. In the movement, it's much, much better, and we practice it. This is one example of the opposites you can see. So she thing, like soul, body, sour, sweet. Move to the next step. Okay. I'll show you the movie. So what you can see, they see the word actually in movement, and they photograph it in the memory. I asked them to see them, even to close their eyes for a minute, see it as a picture, and then tell the letters that were out. No, we saw this. Okay, so basically, even a good program is not, it won't be efficient without good energy, and the the person we work with have to try to enjoy himself, right? Correct himself. We work. Um, I'm sorry, I moved on just a little bit. Um, we're trying to work with fun, with games. It's very dynamic. They're moving, they're playing, playing ball, playing with computer programs, write themselves on the whiteboard. Um, you can see the smiles in the movie. We try to make it as much fun as possible, and we have to understand that until they will. We have to make them feel good about their abilities. Um, understand that they can make the change, and it's very helpful for the treatment.
The software allows us to constantly follow each person. The software measure the reading pace and build graphs of progress. This monitoring helps us identify the person's improvement and demonstrate their progress. It also allows the progress to be monitored using it for research.
Okay, I don't think we can get into math now because um, it's hard to understand everything, and um, there's a lot of parts of the treatment that we were unable to show you because it's only parts of the treatment, and but the treatment is short. It's like 20, about 20 sessions. The reason is because we teach the people, the parents or the patients or the people that doing the training, we teach them how to work at home. They can work with a computer program. We teach them all the exercises, and every week we actually give them the exercise to the next week. So they make a very, let's say it's very fast, um, because they work every day with themselves. We guide them all the time. In ADHD, it usually takes a little bit longer, of course. Okay, we have a very good program for preparing the brain to learn, or readiness for first year one. Um, it's a very important stage. Before learning, we can actually build up the right abilities to learn, and this is my favorite program because I say there's no second chance for first impression. I remember myself actually in the first day of school. It was a very long time ago. By the way, I'm 40. I'm 40 if somebody is interesting. But I remember my day, the first grade. I actually was crying because I wasn't able to write one word after everybody went home. I tried and tried. So we can make the kids ready even before. It's very important for their self image, and also to build the right skills. You can make a very big difference, and I see it with kids all the time. So all of those programs we actually teach in this course that we are talking about, that Galit soon will talk about and explain it to you by details. Uh, on the same base of understanding, we have the correcting of learning difficulties, ADHD treatment, readiness for EU1, academic excellence, uh, memory, linguistic, sorry, longevity, I'm sorry, memory, longevity. I see some parts of me, some, it may be dyslexic, you know, it's not my language, you can understand it. So, first of all, I'm sorry about my mistakes in English for adults. Okay, so Galit will take it from here. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to hear from you.
Hi. So you're probably asking yourself, how can you learn more about this method? So we actually having a course that will take place the end of November, 28th and 29th for 3 weekends. And the course contain, as I said, 3 weekends. The first weekend is about the neurological foundation of learning, where you're going to receive more information about the sensory motor system and bridging developmental gaps, brain waves, learning and attention. What are the brain waves? The connection between brain waves, controlling, learning, and attention. And that's the kind of the preparation of the brain for learning. The second weekend will have the correcting learning difficulties using Raviv Method's computer software with the 8 path. We're going to deal with dyslexia and verbal language skills, foundation of two-dimensional perception, photographic memory and spelling, logical mathematical perception, including basic mathematical skills. In addition, we're going to start the foundation of mathematical thinking skills and problem solving. And the third weekend is treating attention deficit, hyper disorder, ADHD. What is ADHD? Controlling attention by regulation brainwaves activity, um, treating attention deficit disorder in children, treating attention deficit disorder in adults, coaching ADHD, organization skills, time management, um, stress management, organization behavior, positive self images, correcting accompanying learning difficulties according to the needs. It's very important that you will all know that this method is very, very practical. So the time duration between the first weekend and the second weekend is actually the time that you can practice the method and come back with questions, with issues, whatever you have after you practicing. And that's for the second weekend, and then from the second weekend to the third weekend there is another period of time, so it's allow you actually to have hands-on and be able to use the method and see how can you improve your day-to-day use and help your children, your students, your pupils.
Okay, we will now answer your questions. We have a few questions here from people, from participants. So we will read the question out loud and then Barak will answer them. Philip asked, some cognitive problem may be caused by a lack of neurotransmitter is what's this word? Acetylcholine. Acetylcholine, dopamine, noradrenaline. Does Raviv is efficient in this case, and how Raviv method can fix those problems in this case?
Hello, this is Nili here, and I'm one of the developer of the Raviv method. So to answer your question, Philip, look, the brain is a electrical chemical system. In our method, we don't deal with the chemical aspects. If you are used to take, let's say, Ritalin or Concerta or other medication, um, only by training the brain to stimulate the brain activity, meaning to go naturally to the, let's say, to the intensive activity of the beta waves, then the brain will produce the chemical which is needed for the stimulation, which you mentioned, the let's say dopamine or noradrenaline or the others. We are dealing or we are treating or practicing only the electrical aspect of the brain activity. I hope I answered you.
Okay, the next question is uh, also if your some I can't read here. Also, if your mathematics is weak, can you still become a practitioner?
Hi, it's Barak again. The answer is actually, even though we work with teachers and other therapists, most of the people come to work also for themselves and their kids because we believe in practice. We don't believe in theories. So everybody in the course actually have to work on themselves, and we teach the math from the basic. We actually believe that people that actually have those problems could be the best therapists. So of course you have to see how you correct yourself during the process, but when you do, you will want to help it with your other patients that have the same problems. Of course, there will have to be a teacher for maths to, after the basic understanding of maths is that we teach the brain to be, let's say, able to perceive the math and the sequency that he needs, the sequency, the perception, the basic understanding. Um, then a math teacher would be efficient. So we teach the basic and it will be great for you. The next questions, please.
Hi, this is Sama. Sama is asking, hi, I'd like to know um, what the hours will be of each day. What theme would we start? What time would we start and finish each weekend? Do the 42 hours include studying time on our own or in class? Thank you.
Hi, it's Galit again. So the course will start at 10 o'clock a.m. and will finish every day by 5 o'clock. And it's Saturday and Sunday. and the 42 hours are actually time that are in the workshop and with Barak training you online on site. Sorry. In addition, we're going to have in between sessions like this webinar where you can have help desk and you can ask questions if you have any.
And next question is by Abigail. Do you have teacher-friendly publications that could inform and give some practical exercises to use with ADHD dyslexic students?
Hello, it's Neely here again. Of course we can, but only if you complete the course. Otherwise, you will not be able to know how to regulate the brain waves electrical activity. There is no simple way to treat or to practice with ADHD people, as you know, I believe. Thanks.
Okay, I will read now two questions. One is by Sarah. Could you explain a little about memory longevity for older adults? And Sama asks again, can Raviv method help children with autism?
First, I will answer about the autism. So no, we are not good with autism. Okay. But what I learned in the UK is that many people are diagnosed as autistic when they are simply severe dyspraxic. So we have to read the diagnosis and the assessment to understand the level of the let's say the autism of the autism. Okay, in what level he is diagnosed. If he's learning in a regular school, in a small class, or in a special school, etc. We have to learn the case first. So it's the best thing is for the parent to speak with us, connect us during the website or the telephone, and we'll have a private talk. Okay. The other question is about brain longevity or longevity is basically based on the same exercise of walking the 8 paths, but practicing a lot of memory exercise that were developed in order to make the memory better. It also helps to the short term memory, which usually is the first to be damaged in the, let's say, latest years. But it doesn't cure dementia or Alzheimer. So don't confuse it. It's help people my age, 65, who have difficulties with retrieving sometimes, memorize the name of an actor, and have a very long conversation with the fridge when I'm going to pick something, and I don't remember when I get there. I don't remember what it was, but this kind of memory problems, it helps a lot. But remember, it's not for Alzheimer and not dementia. Thank you.
And the last question that we have here is Caroline asking if we are doing it again in 2016 because she lives overseas in Sydney.
So we should keep her on. Hi. The best is really to communicate with us via our email, which is info@ravivmethod.com. You'll see in a few minutes on the screen. And we will update you with any upcoming courses. The course that we are actually talking about now, the upcoming course, and we still have some places available, is the weekend of the 28th, 29th of November. And the following weekend will be the 16th and 17th of January. And the final weekend will be the 6th and the 7th of February of 2016. And for the people who are participating in this webinar, we have a special offer. The regular price for the course, which provide you with a certificate to become a Raviv Method practitioner and use the method privately in school, at home, is usually £1,850. And today, for people who will send us an email in the next 2 hours to info@ravivmethod.com, we will provide you a discount of 10%, and the total price will be £1,665. And that's only for today, for people who are participating in the webinar, and for the next 2 hours. Thank you. If you don't have any other